Yo, what's up, fight fans? Welcome to another edition of Split Decision MMA, your weekly MMA podcast, bringing you all the fight predictions, recaps, rumors, news, forum readings, anything else we could find to talk about in the wide world of mixed martial arts. Coming to you live from the SinCal studios here in Modesto, California. How you doing today?
Man, I'm doing good.
We're in that weird betwixtmas middle between New Year's and Christmas thing. I don't like it. Nobody knows if they're supposed to go to work or be productive or go out to eat or not go out to eat.
I'm just productive every day.
There's just some weird things going on. I do not like this middle
every day
time.
I try to be productive.
It's this middle weird holiday hangover time that I'm just not a fan of, especially because I have to work. That's what it really comes down to.
I was about to say, I was like, you're not really confused about what you're supposed to do because you just work.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, that's the life of a business owner. That's why my wife doesn't want me to become a business owner. You know, she's already been on that angle of it all. Like, and she's like, there's no days off. There's literally no. I'm like, Brandon takes it. Yeah, how? He has to switch and move and round. And I'm like, I know, but still, no,
you're not doing it.
Yeah.
Well, we here at Split Decision are brought to you by healthlabs.com. Healthlabs.com providing you fast, private, and affordable blood work for all MMA fighters for as low as $79. All you need to do is order your tests online, choose one of the 4,500 local accredited labs, get your results in 24 to 72 hours. It is that easy. No appointments needed, no insurance, no copay, just fast, affordable blood work at healthlabs.com.
That's healthlabs.com.
And our newest sponsor, FuegoBox.com. FuegoBox.com is a new hot sauce of the month club, where you get to go beyond your Tabasco, Crystal, or Sriracha, whatever you're out there trying. You get to try 1 to 3 new bottles of hot sauce every month, and we're not talking about just gimmicks. We're talking about really great tasting small batch hot sauces of love.
It's so hot.
Go to FuegoBox.com and use the code word MMA News for 10% off every single purchase. Buy the sauces individually or sign up for the monthly box and get 1 to 3 new bottles every single month. FuegoBox.com, code word MMA News. Let's get into MMA News.
Burnt bunghole. I tried to get burnt bunghole. They said that it would be too long.
Can't use that.
No.
Can't use that. Let's get into some news here. The official Durkin, the barista, Mr. Patrick Cummins, is hanging him up.
Is it like his middle name Durkel or Durkin?
He goes by, he is the Durkin.
He is the Durkin.
That's his nickname, is Durkin, hanging it up.
Durkin.
Announced it on social media, on his Instagram. He said, I've given the idea of retirement a lot of consideration over the past 6 months, and today is the day I say goodbye to my 20-plus long career as an athlete.
Yeah.
It has not been an easy decision, especially when a competitive life is all I've ever known. I'm not quite sure where the next chapter will be titled, but I do know one thing for certain. I'm not going to spend any more time involved in something that my heart isn't into 100%. I've spent over a year in the UFC where that was the case, and even I wasn't completely aware of it. Turns out that's probably one of the hardest places to go through the motions. Well, you live and learn. Thank his friends, his family, his loved ones, his coaches, his sponsors, his training partners. You all know who you are, and he loves you. So yeah, Patrick Cummins coming into the scene, obviously, for talking a lot of trash against Daniel Cormier. He was Daniel Cormier's former training partner, right?
Right. Well, they were bringing him in, and he had made Cormier cry, and they used that, right?
As an angle. He said it was at a time when, I'm trying to remember exactly which. Let's see if we can find it here real quickly.
Somebody had fell out, and this is the same time that... Who?
Yeah, there you
Bader.
go. Rashad Evans had fallen out due to an injury back in 2014, and Cummins had stepped in on short notice, basically saying, "Look, I was the guy that made Daniel Cormier cry during training for the Olympics. I was the guy they were bringing in to do this. I'm the guy to beat Daniel Cormier." Brought him in to fight at UFC 170. And he did end up losing that in the first round. But he did get a contract in the UFC. He was a barista at the time at a coffee house when he made all these things. He made a name for himself, man.
I'd like to get a coffee with milk latte.
He made a name for himself. He had quite a few fights in the UFC. He went 10-7 in MMA. He'd only fought 4 times prior to going to the UFC. So pretty good that he was able to kind of push his way in. Was a guy that used marketing very well, went on all the news programs with all the ESPN talking head people like us, interviewing him and stuff like that.
Yeah, and, he made the most of his 15, and then got another.
Got a few more.
Yeah,
got a few fights. we'll see where Patrick Owens. I'd like to see where he goes from here. Obviously, he's talking about he's no longer going to be an athlete, but
yeah, but I mean, like you said, 20 years he's been competing. 10 years he's been getting punched in the face.
Yeah.
Right.
I
mean, it's rough. I mean, there's a lot of people that have trouble just getting past high school and college football.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Another storied career. This one going way back. Phil Baroni, the New York badass, has decided to finally hang them up. This one was a little shocking. I mean, not really. A lot of people think that this could have happened or should have happened maybe a little bit before it happened. But for Phil Baroni to open up the way he was opening up in his Instagram post and on Twitter, it's just really, really crazy. He talks about his depression. He talks about I don't know where to go from here. I spent a lot of time alone in Thailand and all these things. He went there to try to, get a new career back and all these type of things.
How do you look like that and you're alone? You got to be an asshole, probably.
No,
because I'm an asshole and I'm not good looking at all, and I'm not alone.
He says, we're talking about the old guard. And he doesn't know how to translate back into sort of the civilian lifestyle of, he's constantly a fighter. It's all he's ever known. And all of a sudden now he's, no one wants to see him fight anymore. And he's going out and getting concussions and losing things. And it's just how, where exactly do the old fighters go when it's time for them to hang up?
When you can't fight, you coach or teach.
All right.
Right?
There you go. I mean, it's supposed to be.
That's how it's supposed to be. But, I mean, maybe he just doesn't fancy himself as a teacher or an instructor, or maybe he doesn't have the control.
I'm still trying to, and I will try to get Phil on the show. He lives around the area. He lives in Stockton.
I know.
Right now he's been to Thailand quite a bit.
Yeah. I know we've talked about it. We almost had a fishing trip hooked up, and then someone was like, "No, I can't. I'll push him off my boat."
Anyway,
and he's mouthy.
I wish Phil Baroni the best.
Oh yeah.
Call outs coming from another part of the old guard here. Vitor Belfort going on Instagram this past week, calling out Wanderlei Silva. Now remember, Wanderlei Silva called him out most recently, said he wanted to bare knuckle box him.
Right.
Nothing has come of that as of yet. However, Vitor coming out says the time is ticking. Wanderlei Silva, I heard you are asking to fight me again. I hope it's true. I'll give you a Christmas gift. I'm willing to give you the most anticipated rematch in combat history. Except
really? I don't know.
Do you accept my gift? I would suggest the date would be the end of February in Singapore with one championship, one of the most growing sports. Merry Christmas. And
I just don't see
everybody that's in it.
A lot of people with bated breath. You know what I mean? It's not one of the ones where like you're sitting there drinking and you're like, who I want to see fight.
I think this is a highly anticipated rematch, but it's a highly anticipated rematch that should have happened 10 years ago.
Right, that's what I mean.
You know what I mean?
There's not a lot of people.
When Wanderlei and Chuck Liddell first, when they finally got to fight in the UFC, it was like, this is so great. If it was like 8 years before it's happening now, I'm still going to watch it.
Because even when GSP came out to fight Bisping, remember how many people were like, what has this guy done? And I'm like standing in a room with people like, are you serious?
Are you serious?
Oh, I get it. You just been around the last couple of years. Okay, I'll slow my roll. I get it. You just got into it.
Are you telling me you wouldn't want to watch Wanderlei Silva and Vitor Belfort throw leather?
I like watching homeless guys fight over beer cans. I mean, but I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I would watch it.
Are you saying Wanderlei Silva and Vitor Belfort
is equivalent
to two homeless guys fighting over a beer can?
They're a little bit better in shape. But I'm going to tell you what, the other two have a lot more at stake. The beer can. Well, we're in California.
Yeah.
You'd have to see it.
You'd have to see it.
You're from out of state. People in third world countries, they know what I'm talking about. A lot of people fight over recyclables, but
I think this would be a really good fight, especially at the level of, I guess, age and skill that they're currently at.
Well,
they're still in that part of their career where it'd still be like, all right, I'll still watch these guys fight. It's not like one guy's here and one guy's here.
Yeah, but we know Vitor is back on either TRT or something else, but probably Wanderlei Silva too.
Just Jesus, dude.
Just Jesus.
Jesus.
If you believe it, I believe it.
He's got the Cheez-Its.
Just Cheez-Its.
And then last little bit before we get into some recaps here, bantamweight Khalid Taha has been suspended 1 year after failing his UFC 243 drug test. It has been retroactive to the 6th pay-per-view in October, meaning he'll be eligible to compete next October. Let's see, for a banned diuretic. There you go.
Yeah.
Another one caught up by USADA.
And it's not one of the ones that are on the list that you can appeal
and say that it was a tainted supplement.
Have you seen that? Have you seen the appeal list?
Yeah, they got a big, huge appeal list now.
Yeah. So, what does that do to some of these guys that have missed fights, and then they get the purse?
That's been the talk about everything, from a lot of fighters. I mean, you got guys like Josh Barnett. You got guys like
what happened with him? We'll talk to that in a minute. Shit.
Josh Barnett, Tom Lawler, guys that were tested positive for a banned substance, and they come to find out it was a tainted supplement, even though they had sat on the shelf for a year to 2 years, were not being released, were not able to make money. Where is their justice other than, oh yeah, you're right, you're innocent. Sorry, you're innocent.
Our bad.
We're not gonna give you your money back or figure out how to get you another fight or maybe write something in a contract. No, it's just now we've changed the rules so you can, but for you couldn't. Yeah.
So sorry. Bye-bye.
Again, this is a whole other reason why fighters might have want to listen to Leslie Smith and came up with the union.
And Mark Hunt, even though the more I read about what's going on with him, I don't know if he's winning, losing. I don't know whose side to believe.
I love Mark Hunt, but I feel like he's losing up here.
Yeah, but
I think he's losing up here.
Yeah. I mean, he feels like I don't know, man. Because I read from the side of the UFC lawyers, and it's like, we've got this wiped out, and we've got this wiped out. And I'm like, well, you haven't really won.
Yeah.
But then you got him where the case has just been thrown out of VAC court, which means same thing. Didn't they throw it out the first time because he didn't write it right?
Yeah.
And then he came back. So even when they say they won this case, I mean, he's got multiple appeals.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Now they're going after him for lawyer fees.
Yeah, well, right. Well, I read, now I even tracked that down, and that doesn't even sound like, it sounds like
it's like a threat, like an empty threat.
Yeah, like an empty threat. Not like it's actually.
This or.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay. Fair enough. Bellator 235 happened over the holiday week. We had on December 20th. This was on the Paramount Network. This is Bellator 235, the USO show. Salute to the troops. This was supposed to be headlined by Josh Barnett and Ronnie Marks. However, literally right before the fight was supposed to take place, Barnett had to pull out due to an illness. He went on Twitter, he went on social media and said he was very upset that basically the doctors told him that he was too sick to go out there and fight, that he had tried doing everything that he could. He went through getting more fluids, taking medications that he was legally allowed to take and all these sort of things, but he got pulled immediately before he was supposed to go out and fight. So this whole event got shortened, and kind of the luster got taken away. I mean, it was great for the troops, and I'm sure they enjoyed being able to watch the action and getting something done. Over the holiday weekend, kind of
it was still a good card.
Still a good card, but the main event with Ronnie Marks and Josh Barnett did not happen. However, Toby Mensch did defeat Eric Perez with a knockout in round 1, 54 seconds. So yeah, that still was a good main.
Oh yeah,
new made up main. And then of course you had Bellator 236, McFarlane versus Jackson. This was only on DAZN, the Zone. This was for the Women's Flyweight World Championship, and Ilima Le McFarlane defended her belt in a unanimous,
trying to cut weight in here?
Dominant.
That's what I feel like. I feel like we're trying to
dominant decision over Kate Jackson.
It's fucking hot.
Held on to her belt.
I'm about to do the show like Burt Bajarac or what's his name? Burt
Kreischer.
Right? Yeah.
You should start taking.
I'm just gonna go shirtless, bro.
just gonna go full bear.
Full bear. I don't think I'm quite as hairy as Burt. But anyway.
Well, it's just hard to tell because it's so blonde.
Yeah. No, it's actually like silver now.
No, now it's silver fox. Nice. AJ McKee gets a win over Derek Campos with an armbar in round 3. Overall, pretty good card for the Bellator. This is also we had the Bellator Featherweight World Grand Prix quarterfinals, right?
I believe that's what it was.
That's what the AJ McKee fight was, right? Yeah. So he won that, and he's moving on into the finals. Then going over the whole. Let's start all over that sentence, right? Going across the world, we got in Busan, South Korea. The UFC had a great event there. The main card was really good, man. Did you get to watch all of this?
Yeah.
All right, so the whole card was on ESPN. Well, which I thought was weird. You had the prelims on ESPN,
right,
and then you had the main card on ESPN.
And I was flipping around.
Backwards,
right? And
normally it's ESPN plus ESPN. They went backwards,
right? And I have I have Apple TV, so it'll show you everything that's on, but it doesn't tell you where it's at. You click on it, and then you're there. You know, It's cool, but it's not. It kind of sucks because you don't know where you're at. You're just watching it.
You're just watching.
You don't know if you're on Hulu, ESPN. Well, right. It just shows up, you got multiple screens. You ask for live TV, and then it knows that I watch MMA, so it usually has all the live MMA that's up and things that I pay for.
Yeah.
So it's like, it said, oh, this. And I clicked it, and I thought I was on DAZN. So I was like, okay, so I thought it would just go into it.
Yeah.
And then so then it was over, and I come back in, and there's some other sport on, and I was like, what? And then but I just go back to that main screen again.
MMA.
And yeah.
Boop,
yeah, there we go.
Right, well, there you go. On the main card, you had Kyung Ho Kang gets the win over Liu Piang in a split decision. Zhang Bak Park gets the win over Marc-Andre Betteralt, unanimous decision. Da Un Jung gets the win over Mike Rodriguez with a knockout in round 1, a minute 4. Charles Zhang gets the win over Do Hu Choi with a knockout in round 2, 4:32. Volkan Ozdemir gets the win over Alexander Rakic in a split decision. How did you see that fight going?
I don't know.
Did you score it for Ozdemir or did you score it for Rakic?
No, I scored it for Ozdemir, but I could have been a draw.
Could have been a draw.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
No, you didn't see it that way?
I didn't see a draw.
Right.
I thought Ozdemir did enough to get even a unanimous decision, but
I don't. My problem with him is as it gets into the later, even the later part of the second and into the third, it's not like he's really trying. Yeah, I mean, do you feel that?
Maybe he thought he already had it.
Right. And again,
coast it in.
That's my problem. That's my problem with corner people telling you got it.
You got the first 2 rounds.
Got it.
You're good.
You got
Just
it.
relax.
Right.
And then, of course, your main event, the Korean Zombie, Chang Sung-jung, gets the win over Frankie Edgar. TKO, round 1, 3:18.
I wasn't really surprised. Not like a lot of people.
I was not surprised at all.
A lot of people were floored by it, but I was just like, man, I mean, we're just at that point with Frankie where he's got some decisions to be making.
Do you think it was at that point with Frankie, or do you think it's at the point with Korean Zombie where, I mean, he's a legit contender, man?
Well, I just think
he's been a legit contender for some time.
The combination of both. We got one guy who's on his bottle rocket boost.
I mean, in my opinion, and I think in a lot of people's opinions, the loss over Yair Rodriguez with 1 second left with the upward back elbow that knocked him out, nobody saw that coming. And I don't care how many times Yair wants to see it or say it, that's not something you practice knowing exactly that you're going to hit it every time.
Right.
You may practice throwing it, but there's no way that you know exactly when you're going to land that.
No, it's like punching somebody in the face at 13 seconds at the beginning of the round. You can tell me all you want that that's how you planned it and that's what it was going to do. But, I mean, there's a lot of people that work that over. And, again, if that fight happens 10 times, that 13-second knockout doesn't happen
again. So, I mean...
Or a flying knee because a wrestler doesn't know what to do when you're coming at him. You know what I'm saying?
Shoot! You always shoot.
He didn't even move.
You need to shoot. He was going for the legs.
He was like, I thought it was a knee, and then it hit me.
I was going for the legs. I was going to take him down. Gosh. Korean Zombie, do you think he gets a title shot now? He is, let's see where he is at. He is now number 4 in the slot. Alexander Volkanovski is your champion, of course. Do you think he gets the shot? He was calling out Volkanovski. He said he wants the belt. The Zombie.
Yeah. I mean...
Does he need to beat Zabit or Ortega or Holloway first?
Ooh. Zabit.
You want him to fight Zabit?
I don't think it's fair to make Zabit fight him to get a title shot. I mean, don't you think Zabit's ready for a title shot?
I think he's pretty close, yeah.
Right?
I think he's pretty close.
Because we all know the rankings are made up and it doesn't really matter.
The rankings are made up and don't matter until our friend Eric here on My MMA News, who apparently has an inside track and says that the rankings are going to be changing soon. Do we have a date on that, Eric? If you could just shout that out in the comments.
He hasn't said nothing new about it, so I
just want to know, Eric, if you know the date or when that's actually taking place, please put that in our comments of this video. But allegedly, the rankings that do not matter, the random 13 media members who half of them don't even cover MMA anymore, half of them don't even represent who they cover in MMA anymore, are going to be stripped, and then we're going to get some new guys actually running the rankings that will know what they're talking about. But Chan Young-Zung, the Korean Zombie, has moved up 2 slots. Frankie Edgar has moved down 2. You got Zabit, Magmedo Shaperov, and Brian Ortega, and as well as the former champ Max Holloway just above him. So this is good. I think put Korean Zombie in against Brian Ortega, who he's supposed to fight to begin with, and then he gets a title shot.
Okay.
Zabit, sure, give him a title shot right now.
Yeah.
You know, let them jump and let's move. And then we got the winners, and the winners will fight those, and we'll just move on from there. You know, that's how that should work, right?
I like it's like Tetris of fighters. You just open a brick, one falls in, just move
one
them
guy
around.
slides. You got to move over to the left. You have to rotate sometimes.
And if they beat the shit out of it, they just disappear.
Yeah, just disappears. So we got 3 events to be excited for. Going down.
Eric Cal said they were told in January we start, but the system has not been yet updated, and we have not received any notice yet, so it's not fucking happening. I knew it.
January hasn't happened yet, but maybe by that first pay-per-view card,
they got 4 days to get it together.
That first pay-per-view card with Conor versus Cowboy.
Oh, so then they got 21 days to get it together.
Maybe they'll be voting on
days.
that one. And you
Lucky
can get
21.
all the fanboys not voting for Conor just
Eric
because he's on
Kowal
there.
is not a fanboy.
I know he's not.
He is an MMA journalist, my friend.
He is. He is one of the best.
And a train building connoisseur, apparently. I want to see some pictures of this arcade he's building.
One of the best. So we have a couple events going on. Number 1, we have the Bellator and Rizin Japan card, also known as Bellator 237, Fedor versus Rampage, going down technically Sunday in Japan, which would be Saturday our time. Is that correct?
Yeah. 237. That's my
this
favorite
is
expressway
be on
in the Bay Area.
the Paramount Network. Finally, we get to see a really good card on the Paramount Network, as well as DAZN.
Paramount has had quite a few good cards this year, my friend.
Yeah, but I feel like they put a lot of the bigger ones on DAZN, and I'm not paying for DAZN, man. Until they refer to themselves as DAZN, it's not happening.
Yeah. Apparently, if you can find this thing called Gears TV, you don't have to pay for anything. Just it.
Yeah, I've heard of the same thing as like Beast TV.
Right.
But just make sure, though,
you get a VPN.
If you're going to get these, you have a VPN.
And which I'm telling you right now, they're not as safe as you think with a VPN. I'm just going to let you know.
What you do is you VPN into a VPN, and then that's how you watch it.
And then you VPN?
Yeah, that's how you watch it.
Yeah. You know what? They've been busting that shit since War Games. Would you like to play a game? Do you remember? Remember the computer made it look like it was coming from all over the place?
Yeah.
That was a VPN. That's how long ago they learned how to beat it.
Or in Hackers, where you get to see it bounce around.
Yeah.
Or would you remember the movie Sneakers, where they're like, he's got us in Cairo.
Yeah.
Now he's got us in Paris. It's coming back to London. He's almost got us. Disconnect.
Yeah. So if you think your VPN is going to keep you safe, get real. There was a guy in custody that hung himself.
Bellator Rizin.
Just saying.
We have a big card there. Obviously, you got big fighters against Bellator, against big fighters against Rizin. It is topped off with your main card. You got Darren Cruikshank going against Gayoti Yamaguchi. Kenyana Watabe going against Alaya Joan. Kieta Nakamura going against Lorenz Larkin. Michael Venom Page going up against Shinsho Azai.
So this guy,
yeah,
is he somebody that is competitive?
First of all, you can click on his name in Wikipedia.
Okay, so
he's immediately one step higher than everybody else.
We can click on him.
He has been fighting since 2009. He fought in the UFC. He's also fighting Pancrase and King of the Cage.
Okay.
He is a...
Oh, shit. King of the Cage? That's enough right there.
Is that a legit organization?
KOTC.
That's not a feeder organization, is it?
Well, I mean, they are I would say they are the feeder of the feeders. And not a bottom feeder. I wouldn't say that either.
He did win...
Legitimate group, my friend.
He did win a lot of amateur wrestling things, combat wrestling events. Abu Dhabi
wrestling? What is that? Does that happen in a bar?
Abu Dhabi combat. He was okay. So we got some big things here.
I don't consider it amateur if you had to get on a 737 to fly to somewhere to do it.
He is 11-3. All right. 11-3.
I'm like him. He's got a lot of green.
He won the Pancrase middleweight championship at one point. Okay. He went 2-2 in the UFC. So
I still don't know anybody he's beat.
No, you probably don't.
Make Luke Genoux, yeah?
Yeah, I remember the name.
And it's clickable.
Yeah. Anyway, so Michael Bisping Page will be going up against him. We have Michael Chandler going up against Sydney Outlaw. Obviously, the big event that was supposed to be going down, Michael Chandler against Benson Henderson, will not be happening because Benson Henderson has to pull out of that fight. However, he has been replaced by Sydney Outlaw. And then, of course, your big-time main event, Fedor Emelianenko going up against Quentin Rampage Jackson, who is coming in at the heaviest he ever has his entire career.
And he's saying, so he had a weird interview. I don't know if you've seen it, where he said Quentin likes to play video games. And
he's always referred to himself as two people.
Okay.
Always, since the days of Pride. Okay. He has Rampage that likes to fight, and he's got Quentin, who's video game nerd.
And fucking, he said video games, fucking, and driving cars.
Yeah.
He's like, but Rampage just likes fighting.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to believe that Rampage don't like sex. It just seems weird. You know what I'm saying?
He's got two personalities, according.
I don't care.
So Fedor saying he wants to finish.
Take Rampage to a strip club.
And I don't know if I read this right or wrong, but Fedor wants to finish his career at 205, or did Rampage want to finish his career?
Rampage wants to finish his career at 205.
Even though he's at 260 right now.
Right. But Emelianenko has now stated that maybe he's got 4 years left in him. I don't know.
This is supposed to be his retirement fight.
I thought there was a whole brain damage issue and like a cardiovascular issue, right?
I know he said this was supposed to be his last fight.
I don't know. But now he's trying to walk that back too.
This is supposed to be his last fight.
I don't know. It's all because Stefan Struve came back. Stefan Struve came back and gave everybody a new breath on life, right? That guy.
Oh, man.
He's so tall, everybody looks up to him. I mean, literally. But, I mean, that's just how it works out.
We also got December 31st, obviously, New Year's Eve. You can watch 2 MMA events. Dennis's favorite organization that may not be around next year, PFL.
No, they will be around next year.
At least next year.
But it may be the last year.
It may be last year. PFL
If we get
10.
that rumor started, maybe they'll find some more funding or tell us about their new funding.
PFL 10, the 2019 season, is having their big Madison Square Garden blowout where the winner of each of these bouts will win $1 million and the championship. You got Brendan Loghain going up against David Valente at featherweight, which I don't understand. Okay, so that's just a random bout. Then you got
now,
Lance.
all these cards are for $1 million.
Now,
right?
here we go. $1 million and a championship. In the featherweight department, Lance Palmer against Alex Gilpin.
Gilpin's already lost twice to Palmer, right?
I believe so. Heavyweight, Ali Izayev going up against Jared Rosholt.
Right.
Rosholt's former champion. Emiliano Sordi going up against Jordan Johnston. Nathan Shute, that's at light heavyweight. At lightweight, Nate Shute.
How are these guys going for $1 million and we can't click on them?
Look, this is the problem with PFL.
Man.
They do not have big names yet. They keep trying to pick it up. Rory McDonald's going to be their biggest name.
I hate to tell you, but Radaj Shababov, that's a big name.
It's not a long name.
It's not a well-known name, but it is a big name.
It is very big. Welterweight David Michaud going up against Ray Cooper III, and of course your main event, the one that PFL has put all its money into, Kayla Harrison going for the women's lightweight title against Larissa Pacheco. Again, everybody here, somebody's going to be $1 million winner.
Yeah.
Every single champion. The problem that I have with PFL is that they do not have a lot of big known names. You would think after the first year, their first season, when all the checks cashed and guys got $1 million.
But even after the checks cashed, remember how many stupid people were saying, "Oh, these guys are dumb. They really think that PFL is going to pay them," and like people are literally standing there with their money.
Their check, yeah. I like I said, I think after that happened, they should have went after bigger names and been like, "Look, everyone got paid."
Oh, they were. Don't you remember? They were going and talking to people. It's just hard for people
to believe them.
Especially when you have things that happen like the BK FFCC.
Yeah, and
DD.
I think also because that they were once World Series of Fighting, I really think that was an issue. I don't know which one I need to. Now look, it's over there. Nobody can hear me. Now they can hear me. But I think because they were once associated as World Series of Fighting and the issues that were being had there, people are still a little sketched out by it.
Right.
Unfortunately, they carry that baggage. Also going down New Year's Eve.
Well, still look how many people, even to this point, are scared to go to Bellator or even to talk to Bellator because they don't think that they're going to get a decent amount of money.
I don't know. They seem to be picking up anybody and everybody that they want.
Right.
They got Kat Zingano now. You know what I mean? They got Cyborg. They got all these names. So also going down New Year's Eve in Japan, you're going to have Rizin 20 Satahama. And of course, you're going to have, there's the lightweight Grand Prix finals. There's some kickboxing bouts. There's the Rizin Light Heavyweight Championship is on the line. The Rizin Super Atomweight Championship is on the line. And of course, the vacant Rizin Bantamweight Championship is on the line. Big names to follow here. Patrick Furry is going to be over there fighting in the lightweight Grand Prix. CB Dalloway going for the light heavyweight championship. You got Seohee Hamderley, who was in the UFC there for a little while, going for the Atomweight Championship, Super Atomweight Championship, and then the vacant Rizin Bantamweight Championship because Horiguchi is going to be out for 10 to 12 months due to injury, which is very, very unfortunate. You got for the vacant belt, Kai Asakura going up against Manel Cape. So check that out. You got 2 events. You got PFL, which is going to be on ESPN2, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Rizin. And, of course, this weekend you got Rizin Bellator card, the Japan card. So a lot of MMA to watch over the new year. We will see you after the new year. But before we see you after the new year, make sure you go to, we got healthlabs.com for fast, affordable, and private blood work for you MMA fighters. Make sure you go to healthlabs.com and fuegobox.com. Get yourself a subscription using the code MMA News for 10% off. fuegobox.com. That's it.
That's it?
I'm roasting.
You're right.
It's hot. It is hot as that graphic. As hot as these hot sauces in this room right now. SynCal Studios, they are turning up the heat here at SynCal Industries. SynCal Industries, home for all your piercing, tattooing, smoking, accessory, and vinyl sticker needs. They're keeping the heat bill on. I can tell you that.
Always check them out. Check out Dependable Solutions. If you take credit card business at your place of business, check out Dependable Solutions. And if you need some stainless steel stuff, he's kind of slowing down in these.
He's slowing down a little bit. Yeah, but I'll see him tonight. We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about some other stuff. Always go to Walkie Craft. And again, like he said, SynCal Industries, SynCal Piercing and Tattooing. And they also got the glass shop. And My MMA News. Check out My MMA News.
Our good buddy over there, Eric, runs My MMA News, one of the most reputable MMA news sources on the internet, anywhere that can be found. You guys have a good night, and we will see you at the fights.
Yay! It's so loud. No, I don't. Maybe it isn't. I turned it down. They're gonna have a happy New Year. It's a lot longer than I thought. Maybe I looped it. Bye.